Twilight. First book from Eclipse by Stephen Meyer. Preface. I never gave much thought to how I would die. That I have risen enough in the last few months, but even if I had, I would not have imagined like this. I started without breathing across a long room into the dark eyes of the hunter, and he looked pleasantly back at me. Surely it was good way to die in the place of someone else, someone I love. No, even that I ought to count for something. I knew if I'd never gone to Forbes, I wouldn't be facing that now. But terrified as I was, I couldn't bring myself to regret the decision. When life offers you a dream so far beyond any of your expectations, it's not reasonable to grieve when it comes to an end. The hunter smiled in a friendly way as he sauntered forward to kill me. Chapter 1. First Sight. My mother drove me to the airport with the windows rolled down. It was 75 degrees in Phoenix. The sky a perfect clouds blue. I was wearing my favorite shirt, a sleeveless white eyelet lace. I was wearing it as a farewell gesture. My carry-on item was a parka. In the Olympic Peninsula of Northwest Washington State, a small town named Forks exists under a near constant cover of clouds. It rains on this inconsequential town more than any other place in the United States of America. It was from this town and its gloomy, omnipresent shade that my mother escaped with me when I was only a few months old. It was in this town that I would never compelled to spend a month every summer until I was 14. That was the year I finally put my foot down. These past 3 summers, my dad Charlie vacationed with me in California for 2 weeks instead. It was to Forks. Then I now excel myself an action the grade for I detested Forks. I love Phoenix. I love the sun and the blistering heat. I love the vigorous, prowling city. Bella, my mom said to me the last of 1,000 times before I got on the plane. Didn't have to do this. My mom looks like me, except with short hair and laugh lines. I felt a spasm of panic as I stared at her wide, childlike eyes. How could I leave my loving, erratic, harebrained mother to fend for herself? Of course, she was thrilled now, so the bills would probably get paid. There would be food in the refrigerator was in her car, and someone to call when she got lost, but still, I want to go. I've always been a bad liar, but I've been staying this lie so frequently lately that sounded almost convincing. Tell Charlie I say hi. I will. I'll see you soon, she insisted. You can come home whenever you want. I'll come right back as soon as you need me. But I couldn't. I could see the sacrifice in her eyes behind the promise. Don't worry about me, I won't argue. That will be great. I love you, Mom. She hugged me tightly for a minute, and then I got on the plane, and she was gone. It's a 4-hour flight from Phoenix to Seattle. Another hour in a small plane up to Port Angeles, and then an hour drive back down to Forks. Flying doesn't bother me. The hour in the car with Charlie thought I was a little worried, but Charlie had really been fairly nice, but the whole thing, he seemed really pleased already, gotten me registered for high school, and was going to help me get a car. But but I was sure to be awkward with Charlie. Neither of us was one anyone would call it verbose, and I didn't know what there was to say. Regardless, I knew he was more than a little confused by my decision, like my mother before me. I haven't made a secret of my mistake before. When I landed in port and Joseph was ringing, I didn't see it. I didn't see it as an just unavoidable. I really said my goodbyes to the sun. Charlie was waiting for me with the cruiser. This I was expecting too. Charlie's police chief runs to the good people of Forks. My primary motivation behind buying a car, despite the scarcity of my funds, was that I refused to be driving around town in a car with the red and blue lights and thought nothing slows down traffic like a car. Charlie gave me an awkward one-arm hug when I stumbled my way off the plane. "It's good to see you, Bells," he said, smiling as he automatically got and steadied me. "You haven't changed much. How's Brittany?" "Almost fine." "It's good to see you too, Dad." I wasn't allowed to compare Charlie to his face. I had only a few bags. Most of my Arizona clothes were too formidable for Washington. My mom and I had pooled our resources to supplement my winter wardrobe, but it was still scanty. It all fit easily into the trunk of the cruiser. "I found a good car for you, really cheap," he announced when we were strapping. "And what kind of car?" I suspicious of the way he said, "Good car for you," as open to just good car. "Well, it's a truck actually, a Chevy." "Where do you find it?" "Do you remember Billy Black down at La Push?" La Push is a tiny Indian reservation on the coast. "No." He just took a fishing with us during the summer. Charlie promised that would explain why I didn't remember him. I do a good job of blocking painful, unnecessary things from my memory. "Isn't it weird now?" Charlie continued when I didn't respond to "He can't drive anymore," and he offered to see me this truck cheap. "What year is it?" I couldn't see from his changed expression that this was the question he was hoping. I couldn't ask. "Well, Bill's done had to work on the engine. He's only 3 years old." "Really?" I hope he didn't think so little of me as to believe I wouldn't give up that easily. When did he buy it? He bought it in 1984, I think. Did he buy it new? Well, no. I think it was new in the early 16th or late 15th. At the earliest, he admitted sheepishly. "Dad, I don't really know anything about cars. I wouldn't be able to fix it if anything went wrong, and I couldn't afford a mechanic." "Really, Bella? The thing runs great." "They haven't built them like that anymore." The thing I thought to myself had possibilities as a nickname at the very last. "Oh, cheap is cheap." After all, that was the part I couldn't compromise on. "Well, honey, I kind of already bought it for you as a homecoming gift. Charlie peeked sideways at me with a hopeful expression. Wow, free. You didn't need to do that, Dad. I was going to buy myself a car. I don't mind, I want you to be happy here. I was looking ahead at the road, and he said this. Charlie wasn't comfortable with expressing his emotions out loud. I inherited that from him, so I was looking straight ahead as I responded. That's really nice, Dad. Thanks, I really appreciate it. No need to lie that my being happy in force is an impossibility. He didn't need to suffer along with me, and he never looked a free truck of the month or engine. Well, now you're welcome, he mumbled, embarrassed by my thanks. We exchanged a few more comments on the weather, which was wet, and that was pretty much it for conversation. We started out the windows in silence. It was beautiful, of course. I couldn't deny that everything was green. The trees, their trunks covered with moss, their branches hanging with a canopy over the ground covered with ferns. Even the hair felt it filtered down greenly through the leaves. It was a green, an alien planet. Eventually, we made it to Charlie's. He still lived in the small two-bedroom house that helped with my mother in the early days of their marriage. Those were the only kind of days their marriage had, the, the early ones. And they're parked on the street in front of the house that never changed. That's my new, well, new to me, truck. It was a faded red color with big rounded fenders and a low base cap to my intense surprise. I love it. I didn't know if it would run, but I got to myself.